Okay. Good morning. It is 10 a.m. on Saturday. What is this, the 23rd? Is this the 23rd? Let me look. It's the 23rd of May. Boy, how time flies. So now you're looking at 3 pages that'll be published on Monday. I haven't put the dialogue in. That is my big surprise. You figure out what the heck I'm doing. But you can see that there's ugly stuff happening. Had to happen sooner or later, I guess. So yesterday I finished this one right here, and I didn't want it to be too big a jump between this and that. It's not too big a jump between this and that. And I also found that this was some of these shadow areas in the left-hand one, page 62, just a little too murky, dark. So I took the original page last night, and I erased the whole page, erased everything, and then I redrew everything. Fortunately, when you erase something on a bristle board, you get the shadows. So you know what's actually underneath there. So you just draw it again. You just draw it with less complexity, so that you let. And what I'm really trying to do is let the color do it, not necessarily the line. It's just an idea in my head. And there's a few things I have to do here, because some of these areas, like this right here, didn't somehow in the original, because I had all types of line here. There wasn't a whole lot of coloring there, but I'll fix that now. And I had a really very blue. I could probably make that. Don't do that. Make that obvious when I bring this up here, and this shadow layer here. I've got that on 62% opacity, because it was too blue, just a little too blue. And so I wanted to reduce that. And here I have just about the same type of opacity for the blue, and it works a little bit better. One of the things I'm going to do before I go to print is I'm going to go back on every page and tweak it, every page. Make sure there's not a huge jump in the sense of the work when you look at it. And that's one of the reasons why later today I'm going to play with this, because if you take a look at the shadows and the tone on this, this gets a little muddy. This is page 56. I'm going to go back and play with that later today. If I took this out, it's a whole lot nicer. It looks a lot better. And I get rid of these. I'm going to get rid of some of these grays and just turn them into chromatic neutrals. And I may replace this with I've kind of gotten a way of doing clouds that I prefer. These kind of clouds, like this thing right here. That little cloud there, I like a lot. And they work really nicely. Whereas this, a little too much like cotton. So I'm gonna play around with that. So it's a playing around day. It's a tweaking day to make sure that things are that they all fit. So here's my color stuff, and so I'm gonna take that. Here's my color layer. Be nice to me, gee. Nope. You hit these layers too hard, and you immediately get blending options, which is not what I want right now. What I want is to take that color. How is everybody this morning? Dang, I got up this morning. I'm so tired. I'm 67, like I've said before, and I've embarked upon an exercise regimen that I've been off and on with for quite a while. I do it for a while, then I forget about it, and then I do it, and then I forget. But I have to do it now. Boom. If you don't do it now, when you get into your 70s, you're gonna really be sorry. So you have to do it now. But it makes you poop for about 2 months. For about 2 months, you just like you get up in the morning, you go, "What happened?" And it's just part of this whole routine of getting your aerobics back into shape. And I will by September. Hey, I'm in the house till September. There's nothing I can do about it. We may go back to face teaching in September at the school that I teach at, but there's no guarantee of that either. So I'm in the house until till September. So I after every one of these broadcasts, after proper little winding down and getting a feel for anyway, I get on my exercise bike and I spend about 35 to 45 minutes on that. First couple of minutes, anybody who does an exercise bike knows this. First couple of minutes, you're going, man, this is your legs are tight and everything. But after you get warmed up and everything, it's no big deal. And what you do, this is a great thing about some of my college years. When I was in college, I took physical education from a guy who wrote the textbook that we used. So he taught us everything we needed to know about the tips and types of exercise that you should do. And in aerobic exercise is the most important exercise, though anaerobic exercise is important too. But in aerobic exercise, what you're seeking to do is to get past the point where you start to sweat profusely. At that point, you've had an effect on yourself. That way, you actually know that you've actually had some exercise. It takes about 20 minutes into an exercise routine before you get to that point where you start sweating. And all of the benefits happen after that 20 minutes. If you don't, if you stop before that 20 minutes, you did yourself minimal, have minimal good effects from it. So you gotta, well, this guy's got big feet. You gotta stick with it. You can't let the fact that you feel kind of crummy after it. I just go take a nap. I take a nap after I go take a shower, take a nap, get up and do my thing. I got a lot of work to do. School starts in a week and 3 days. I got to do online teaching this summer. So that takes a little bit out of you. It's going to cut into my it's going to cut into this broadcast. I'm going to have to reschedule this broadcast. Probably on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'll do it from 9:30 to 11:30 or something like that. And that'll be my routine on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If I got somebody watching me, dang, I'm so used to talking to myself. That's also the part of this, which is kind of nice. I have this down as a webcomic, and I got my URL paid for years. My hosting account doesn't come up for another year, so that's nice. I don't have to mess with that. But I think I have a plan for producing a print edition this summer. It'll be the first couple of chapters, which is mainly the first chapter is called Mennonite Killers. That's sort of an inside joke. Mennonites are not killers, but I just read it and you'll see what the reference is to. And then the Battle of Gettysburg, everything that happens to Grandpa because of the Battle of Gettysburg. One of the wonderful things about being a writer, and it has a lot to do with the fact that over the years, I've been teaching writing, because even though I was a high school teacher and a college teacher, there's something called writing across the curriculum, where every teacher, no matter what they teach, is teaching writing, because it's becoming a lost art. People don't know how to express themselves in writing. And fortunately, I started reading when I was 4 or 5, thanks to Zorro Comics. Thank you, Walt Disney. That's one good thing Walt Disney did for me, is those Dell 4-color comics that came out in the 50s and introduced me both to reading and to, Rick Berry just posted something that is really, it's like a Walking Dead paratrooper. He's wonderful. Rick. Some reason my tablet just went straight to Rick. I don't know. Oh boy. Old buddy, 50 years, man. That's one of the nicest things about Facebook, is that you lose track of a person for years. And then on Facebook, you find them, you take up, and you're better friends than you ever were before. That's a neat thing about, one of the nicest things about this crazy little thing in Facebook, with all the stupid stuff that goes along with it. Still, it's I contact people I hadn't talked to in years. Okay, this is starting to come along, this little thing here. This needs a little bit of, this is starting to gel a little bit. This is okay. I can live with this. This is a real rough sketch that I did, because I didn't like this, what was in this panel at all. And I just wanted to fix it. And that's not the layer it's on, it's this layer. Okay. I just wanted to fix it. But it's got, and I love that face here. So when you love something, you just love something. And I liked what I did there. But little stray marks need to be played with. Whereas, is this my layer on this? Sure is. There's the watercolor on top. Okay. Maybe I can, well, okay, highlights. Let's go shadows. How does that happen? Okay, I would just, okay, if I just want to not have as many extraneous marks everywhere. When I was a little boy, 18 years old, I just met Artie Romero, who was a semi-big deal in fandom at the time. We were doing comics, and the main thing that we decided, and maybe he was the first one who said it, it says, don't put any more lines in it than it needs. So that's kind of difficult to do sometimes. Don't use any more line than it absolutely needs. But yeah, eventually you forget all the rules. At the time, we were thinking about what would an inker do? And we were both pretty good inkers back then, but many years ago, we're talking about 1972. 1972, we're talking like this. Get together every afternoon to watch Star Trek reruns. That was before Star Trek became well, I think it's because of the reruns that Star Trek fandom really took off. I think I went to the first Star Trek convention in 1974 at the Americana Hotel in New York City. I remember very specifically being there. Mostly, well, I was just this dumb kid. I didn't get to. A friend of mine got to meet some of the people. He went to dinner with Nichelle Nichols, and I think he eventually got to know Shatner and stuff like that. I never met anybody. I was just a kid back then. And nobody wanted to talk to me. This guy had the great pleasure at this hotel. I don't know what the heck she was doing there. But he ran into Agnes Moorehead. Took her out to dinner. Said she's a wonderful person. They became friends. But I was a penniless kid. I never went out to dinner with anybody. I was lucky to be able to go there across the street to Stages and get a sub. What's that? No, I want to blend that a little bit. Okay. Bring that out here a little bit. Can I do that? I don't know. That's in the tone. I want to do it here. Okay, it kind of works. Right there a little bit. Where else can I do some damage? Oh, well, over here in the color layer, I need to maybe get rid of that little bleed over there above this boot. Right here. Where this is, this boot's bleeding. Oh, stop the bleeding. And so I'm going to do that. That didn't work. Well, let me see. Well, that's on that level. You can see that this needs some cleaning up. I can leave some of the yeah, maybe just leaving this off, I can just clean up some of this stuff. This is on layer 7. Because when I redrew and rescanned everything, I had to do it panel by panel, because every panel had to be, the size had to be very carefully resized to fit the color layers. Not the easiest thing in the world to do. And I can do that. See if I did this with highlights, see if it would go a little bit better. Yeah, it does. I could just, let me see, what is this? Yeah. Boy, what is that? Huh. Okay, that's just a layer of it's just a layer of. Oh, once again, I made the mistake of pleasing my phone's audio on. Okay, right down here. I could just use an eraser. Erase this. That's not working, is it? Huh. Oh, well, go back to that. I'm up at 7, right? Layer 7. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong layer. I'm as brilliant as a 15-watt bulb. Okay, now I'm starting to truly clean up. That is too long to mark. Why are you not? Okay, now you're starting to do it. That mark is too long. Too similar to that mark just above it. No, I'll get rid of it. Sure is giving me a hard time, isn't it? Oh. Okay, an eraser works better. Dang. You would think I would know that, but maybe give this thing a little less length and a little more point to it. Okay. These things. Hey, Laura. Hope your head hurts less today. My wife gets headaches too. I don't get headaches. I haven't had headaches since I was a kid. I do remember having headaches as a kid, though I didn't like them. Okay. Clean this up down here. There's a little underneath this guy's boot. There's a little bit, and then there's a little bit of junk from the very edge of my scan. It's difficult to get all these little artifacts of the drawing out of there. Now, this probably needs to get out of there too, right there. Yeah, in fact, take all that out. I'm gonna have to draw on this in a little while. Okay, clean that up right there over Blueboy's shoulder next to his face. Just leave that like that. The genitals back right there next to his nose, and we'll get rid of it. Okay. Okay, what's it look like when I put the color back on? Yeah, well, that tells me I need to do some few things. Okay, go back to color. Then get into that. Color this right here. A few little gaps there that I need to fix. Right there also. Probably just a tiny bit more there. Oh, down here in the boots. Okay. Okay, now draw on top of this a tiny bit. In fact, I'm going to do a little bit of drawing altogether. Time to do a little bit of drawing with my trusty. It's a little too big. It's about 10, so. Oh, these are like, okay, this is a strange little brush I'm using right now. Okay. What brush are you? Not that one. I don't like that. I want this. Tell me which brush you are. I didn't want wet pull. I want basic. Basic gives you a really interesting. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Nope, not that. Getting weirdness going on here. Okay, basic. This is like an advertisement for Kyle's Real Watercolor brushes. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Basic. I want the basic 50. That's what I wanted. And I don't want it to be 50. About 14 will be fine. And that should give me a decent edge to things. Okay. And it enables you, if it's a large brush like 14 or something like that, enables you to play around with the hardness or softness of the mark. Get a lot of tapering, and it's basically like a real watercolor brush. When I was a kid, Artie and I were inking each other's work. Nobody else to ink. We use these Winsor & Newton red stable brushes, and I use them when I do watercolor. But they'd be like zeros and double zeros, and give you this gorgeous stuff. But this sure is a whole lot easier. Okay, I don't want to go overdo with this hatching. But you can outline certain areas. Make them stand out a little bit more, like right there. That kind of works. Just did Blueboy's that shadow right there. That worked. A little bit right there. You just want just little places that become markers for your eye to light upon, and then it produces visual rhythm between thick and thin and all that other stuff. One of the major properties of visual art, the interplay between thick and thin. Boo, 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 boo. Let me look at that. Should leave that alone. Maybe down there in the bottom, I can play around this because I don't want it to just be simple. Line. I want a little bit of hatching. I gotta go up there in the color layer and get rid of that right there. That right there. Didn't do that right. Okay, do that right. Okay, just like that. And don't want that little gap there. Just these little spots where just this white goes through, which is kind of a watercolor effect, but I'm doing comics. I don't want it to have too many of them. Right here, I want that to let me get rid of that, so I have to fill that in a bit. I'm beginning to produce a theory of coloring these comic book pages where I want color to do most everything. I don't want to use color as value because color has value as well as, you know, the grayscale of black to white is not the best arbiter of coloring. Best is to use color in that way. So things remained open. Don't look, yeah, use that color a little bit for Blueboy's shadow on his face. So I have to do ooh, look at that. I missed that. Missed that arm. I'm glad I went back and looked at it. Missed that arm. Okay. And what did I have before? What did I have before? I think I had this. Yeah. Okay. And just little things like this. Just so that it you don't have too many of these little white spots that might distract the viewer. I'm going to bring this down here and okay, now a few little things here. Let me see. Make sure that this is good. I can do this on this layer. Strange little color. I didn't mean to get that, but it works. Works, don't fix it. Old Irish saying. My grandmother would like that. Okay. And then I've got, well, let me see. That's strange. What am I doing? Okay. I don't like that. I'm just leave it like that. Okay. Now, is there anything here that's just bothering me? Maybe I could add a little shadow right here underneath this guy's coat. Create a very light core shadow here. Okay. What's going on with this guy's hat? Yeah, I'm gonna go into that a little bit. And this guy's finger needs to have just when you do something like this, you in your research, you come upon things that you didn't know. And in coming upon those things that you didn't know, you find the opportunity to create situations with characters that are just wonderful. And when I started doing this, I created a character in the second book that that is just best thing probably I've ever done. And I'm not going to give it away, but he's Blueboy's match, not in any adversarial way. He's his match. He's found a true friend. And he's the same size as Blueboy. And so you meet somebody who's the same size as you and you're 6 foot 6'8", 6'9" by that time, maybe 6'8", 6'9" by that time. You notice. I take him. I'm not any 6'9" or anything. I'm only 6'3". So when I tell kids I'm only 6'3", they go, "Only 6'3"? What are you talking about?" I says, "Because my brother's 6'7". And of course that blows their mind too. But when you meet up with somebody who, if you're really big and you meet up with somebody who's also really big, there's a affinity between the two that is almost immediate. Because big people go through weird things just like everybody else. One thing, it's hard to not stand out in a crowd. And sometimes you don't want to. You just want to blend in. That doesn't happen when you're big. People notice you and you don't even know you're being noticed. Okay, now what goes on here if I do that? No, that's brown stuff. Well, I would have to look at this green down here. What would I have to do to make this well, let me see what happens if I do this. Oh. Am I still brown? I probably still am. Green. Not brown, green. That seems awful brown to me. I will get rid of that. Okay. Where's that green coming from? Oh, I see. Like, okay. Okay, let's go back into drawing. Now I got most, no, I didn't. I got most of this taken care of. Okay. Okay. So, what do I have? I got a few little spots I missed. Fix those. Got my greens here. And so I want to lay that in. Fix that right down there by where Leroy's shirt has little spots in it right there on his collar. Do. And go back to drawing a little bit. Just a little bit. And then we don't have much to do. And I think I'll go on to page 56 and see if I can fix that thing up. And I'm going to have to soon. I'm going to start printing these pages out on my digital printer in high def in all its glory. See whether or not there's little spots that wouldn't look good in print. Okay, I'm starting to get there. A few little marks over here in the on the left-hand panel. Okay, I'm doing this in the color layer. Isn't that brilliant? Oh well. Once it all gets flattened, turn to a PDF file for the printer. So, what the heck? The deal is just that there's no gaps between colors that create these weird effects that you don't want. Well, did I? Let me see. Okay. I can use that right there. Get rid of that little bleed over right here. I think I can. I think I did. Yep. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's well, not bad. Now let's check it out against page 63, which is its companion in the book. Not bad. Not bad. Don't live in a perfect world, but the important thing is you go from here to here to here to here. And this is not a big jump. This makes sense. Yeah, this makes sense. And then you go, then you turn the page and you've got this. You got him picking up this pike pole, and then you got him running across here. You got him highlighted. He's distracted. Everybody's distracted. And then we have the Greek theater tradition of not showing violence on stage. So the actual you don't see, but you know it. And you get to see Blueboy with his Jack Kirby fingers. Everybody knows Jack Kirby fingers. Jack Kirby fingers. Okay. So let's go back over to, and before I do anything silly, save this. Yeah. Yeah, I think I can live with this now. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be all right. Now we have this. So I got several things to do to this that are connected to these boys. Let me see. I got right here. Well, huh. this color. I'm going to grab this color. And you can't do that. You don't want to do that. You want to go up here and in the color layer. Yep, in this color layer, I want to make it big enough so I can see. I'm going to replace this color with this color. Okay, I got it. Let me make sure I did that right. Got rid of you. Is there another? Nope, there's no other layer that has. Nope. It's that color. So that color is the one I want. Yeah. Okay, I'm not losing my mind. So we'll replace that. It's nice to go back and match things up because as I'm drawing, I don't sit here with a model sheet. It's all in my head, which is probably a mistake, but that's the way I am. And just fill this in. I have to do some smoothing later on because I've got this basic watercolor brush that I'm using that overlaps and multiply. Okay. Do. Okay. And this does kind of accentuate. I'll fix that in a minute. See how that works. Strange. Okay, that's better. Okay. Okay. It's down here. Okay. Okay. Probably need to. Don't do that. That's not what I wanted. Make the mistake of hitting the smaller brush size. Key, I hit P, and of course that gives you point, and that's not what I want. I don't do any vector stuff in Photoshop. I leave that to Illustrator. Okay, a little bit over here. Okay. Now I have to blend this. I have to make sure it's at 100% because I don't want to be doing this forever. If you have it up at 100%, then you get pretty decent smudging. It's strange smudging. Now I'm getting a weird smudging that I don't get too often, but it looks like he has splashed water onto it. Oh well. At least it evens up. And I just have to clean up edges. And I may put a few little happy little clouds in here. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Right down here. Get this and then clean up some edges where I've I bled over into the wood. See how I can fix that just using gray. Shouldn't be too difficult. I gotta make a much smaller brush size. So I got that. Get that there. Up here. I may need to play out with that. That looks a little too much like the side of ham. Oh, man, get older. Hand sometimes freezes up a little bit. Just like your Wacom tablet does. It's done it. Oh, well, that's the time of day it likes to do it. A little early today, isn't it? It's only been an hour into this. Come on, Wacom. Don't be messing with me. Let me put my banner up here. Remind you that you could become a part of the history of Blueboy Brown just by becoming a Patreon. You'll also get Patreon patron. You also get original art out of me. Next 5 people who patronize me get original art from the comic book. 5 people already got it. And the one of them lives in town. He's my good buddy who teaches the art class that I gave up when I retired. And I'm going to place it on your porch sooner or later, this bin. Why use a mail system when I can just put it on your porch? Oh, come on. This thing will come. Oh, when I open up the trackpad preferences, usually it causes it to come back. Trackpad, even though this has nothing to do with trackpad. Come on, trackpad preferences. Trackpad preferences. Well, it hasn't happened yet. Of course, it's still giving me the old rolling beach ball. Oh, well. La 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 la. Come on, you son of a gun. Huh. That's messed up. Let me see if I can just get rid of that. Ah, connected. Am I connected? According to you, I am. Am I? Come on, come on. Oh. Well, I go through this every dadgum day. Okay. Yeah. Am I back? Nope, not yet. This does cut down on my production. Oh, now I'm back. Okay. I was about to do trackpad preferences and it scared the living daylights out of, and they came back. Okay. Nothing like scaring the living daylights out of these things. Okay, now I'm gonna play around with these edges and fix these edges so they don't look like they bled into anything. Okay, that's working. Okay, let me see, I got it over here. Just these little areas here that have blue has bled into the wood, and I don't want that. Okay. Okay, let me see. Probably should do something about those little areas here, which look goofy also. Get rid of that 1960s color ring job. Okay, I do it here, here, there. Okay. Okay. Bring this over here. I got a little bit right down here I need to fix. No, that was not what I wanted to do. I want to get rid of this blue bleed. There. And then I want to get Blueboy's, the edge of Blueboy's arm. Make sure it's not got any bleeding going on into it either. And his hat, I don't want it to have bled also. Okay. Well, this area down here needs to be filled in. And this area here needs to be fixed too. I haven't gotten around to that lower. Okay, what's it look like when I put the tone back onto it? Okay, so, I got to do the same thing up here. Um, in a little while. And that may necessitate my messing around with the opacity of that, which might help a great deal. Mess around with the opacity of that. Now, did I duplicate this? Yeah. Why did I do this? Why don't I duplicate this image? I was about to do some major damage. Where are you? Okay, copy. I'm about to do some major damage. We'll go over here and 56. I'm going to save it. And then in my copy, I'm going to obliterate this sky because Kelly Freeze, like it looks like, it looks like a Kelly Freeze painting of Reyes or something like that. I like Kill Kelly. He used to have one of his art pieces. Somehow I lost it. I'm going to bring this down and, oh, stop that. Obliterate it. Got to figure out what layer it's on. Okay, the tone is there. So get rid of the tone. And you're gonna use that color there. You're gonna get rid of all this. Because I figured out a better way to do it. And I want it to be consistent throughout at least this chapter. I make little stylistic changes sometimes between chapters because one chapter is funny and one chapter is not funny. And so I change things just a little bit to accommodate that. But this one, I want all the coloring of the clouds to be fairly consistent. Yeah, I gotta get rid of it. Okay. Huh. Needs to be gone over a couple of times, doesn't it? And I may have to do a little redrawing of this page. That's a little too, I could do better. Doesn't have to be a different form. I'm not opposed to that. It's just I could make it simpler. Mm-hmm. Okay, I can play around with those in a few minutes. Probably need to get rid of some of this. A few of these, not too bad. Huh. Okay, and over here, definitely, I need to do something which may call for a major reorganization of this panel. I think probably does. Might do that tonight. Feature that tomorrow morning. Okay, now down in the line layer, time to do some drawing. Don't want it to be that big a brush. Okay. Wait, whoa. I'm gonna do some. It's got to be in the color layer. Gotta do some blending. And good, it blends that bright blue and the muted blue together. It's not such a bad deal. That wasn't fun. Oh well. Fix it in a few minutes. Okay, now down here with this layer, draw some of my newfangled clouds. Okay. Now, we're here in the color layer. Need to do some dodging over here. And then a little bit of a kind of weird brush going on here? What am I doing? Oh, chalk. Okay. If I ever want that again, I know what I want. But I don't particularly want chalk. Wet puff is not so bad. No, it's not so good either. But Blender Basic. No, it's bad too. About, but I don't want that big. I sure don't want that big. Break. Better. That's not what I wanted either. That's a little bit better. Nope, it's not much better. Okay. And it keeps doing that. This is the squirreliest function of this ridiculous program sometimes, is that it will not give you the brush you want. It keeps going back to your drawing brush. Did I tell you to do that? Huh. I'm gonna have to look up some information on how to do this. Okay. Let me see if I can. Well, it sure didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. I got the luck of the Irish, boy. Anyway, do this again. Okay, now see if I can get a little bit of strength, 20%. That doesn't help. There, that's a little better. And down here in the lower, this layer, I want to soften up some of these edges. And still need to play around with these clouds, which are a little too spotty right now. Lower the size of that brush there. Okay, a little better. A little bit better there. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna call that okay. Probably if I, oh, stop that. Huh. Basic, guys, basic. Basic. Okay. Nope. Not 90. Okay. Did I lose you again? Oh boy. Once again, I've lost my Wacom tablet. I'm going to have to update the driver on this. Must be something squirrely going on here that beyond my ability to affect. Strange. I got this creep program, Spotify, that I listen to once in a blue moon. Every time I look over there, it's opened itself up. I made it quit. What's it do? Opens up again. Chinese must be doing this. Those communists. Oh, well. Anyway. Boy. Anyway. Oh, dadgummit. Well, sometimes the rolling beach ball is a good sign. Means that sooner or later, it's going to resolve itself. That may be it. There it is. Now it's still just now my Wacom tablet works, so I still have my beach ball, and just touching the screen caused it to leave me. Son of a gun. Yep, did it again. Well. Nope. Okay, there. It came back. Now all we have is the rotating rotary phone. See, everything comes back eventually. Yeah. And I'm thinking this blue and that burnt orange, they're a little too close. A little too, something going on there that's kind of acidic. I want to fix that. Kind of not have them be acidic. My rotary phone will just stop rotating. I tell you. At least I'm going to save the dang thing. I hope. Yeah. Okay. Let's just save this thing. Maybe by saving it, I solve some of these problems. Okay. I think I did. Yeah. Okay. I'm having problems with that color there. It's just bugging me. So I'm going to find a way to get past it by looking at it and saying it's probably too much in the orange level. Let's give it more a beige color. Let's see what we can do to get rid of that little problem that's bothering me. Doesn't seem to be helping, and he doesn't. Well, where's where's that color coming from? It's coming from right there. Huh. Uh, that's not that color. Huh, that's strange. Why should I be getting that going on? I had it as a normal. Why would it do that? Huh. Why don't we get rid of all that? I'm just using the dodge tool to do this so I don't get a hole. Okay, now put What did I just do? Oh, I got, oh, now, yeah, now I'm back to just a regular color layer. Lay that in there. Slow as Christmas. You didn't do me any good, did you? Every time I took, it's probably because this brush is some kind of additive brush. See if I can just blend this all together. Maybe get the best of both worlds here. Yep, maybe. Best of both worlds. Just by bring this over here. Now, this color is probably a little too beige. And let's put it over here. Okay. Wonder why it doesn't doesn't obliterate that old color. Just which dadgum no. Get out of there. Get out of there. There. Well. Yeah, that's what I was using earlier. Yeah. Now I've gotten away from that silly. Okay. And I can play around with that color now and find the real color that works with this. There. I'll have to put up with that. Now, that's not the color I was looking for. But at least it's not that. It looks kind of pasty white there. That's not good. Okay, now let's bring it down here. Get a little more. No, there's no way that you can work on the outside all the time and have pinkish skin like this. It's going to have to come down into that. Get rid of that black there. And see what we got here. Yeah, that's more like it. I can add a little more of a chromatic neutral to that later and get away from that peachy look. That color combination was just looking too acidic. And so I'm going to do the same thing over here. And same thing down here. Good. Give this guy a makeover. Both of these guys. Because the color was getting a little muddy. Did you leave me again, Wacom? Jiminy Cricket. I think it has everything to do. Yeah, I got it back. Everything to do about the power of my CPU. 2009, nobody was doing this. They probably were. I just weren't doing it online. Who knows what happened in 2009? I can hardly remember 2009. I think simplifying the skin color for these guys may solve a major problem. I was just going to town too much with my shadows and everything. Just a little too much. Okay. I was getting murky stuff. And I don't like those grays. I'm not fond of the value of gray. I like color. And if you're going to use gray, use it sparingly, knowingly. Don't let it overcome a drawing. So the whole thing just becomes a grayscale. Other people do that. They do real well, but I'm just me. I'd rather just use this color here. And if I want to get variations of shadows, I can use a complementary color to do that. I'm going to save this thing before things get too hairy. And that chopping block there, that gray has to go. I just don't like that gray. At the beginning I did, but I changed my mind. Okay. And of course, I'm a bit sloppy. So I'm going to go up here and using a much smaller size brush, clear up some of these inconsistencies, pardon me. His eyebrow, where the eyelid over there has to be colored. I'm not going to worry about these guys in the background because I'm going to change their color too. I'm not going to let them be gray. Got to be a chromatic neutral so that they interact with all the other colors. Well, okay. Okay. Good. Got rid of that little artifact. Okay. Over here, get rid of that little artifact there. I'll actually mistake, guys. Got too anxious. Okay. Okay. Okay, get the edge of his knuckles correct. I must have another layer over that. Okay. Now we're going to go down on that background. I'm going to take a tiny break, get a swig of water down my throat, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay. There, that's better. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of all those grays. And how you do that? Well, you do it this way. Let's see. First, I got to figure out where the grays are. They're all in that layer, so I don't have to mess with. Okay, I want to get a gray. Choose 3% cyan. 35% magenta, and 50% yellow. You got a chromatic neutral. Has no black in it, So there's no gray. It's truly just a color that is completely muted. That's what I'm going to put in the background. And it is a gray, but it is a gray made from color. And it'll interact with other colors because it is a color. Though muted, it still interacts with color. Whereas gray only interacts with color in that if it is next to a warm color, it takes on the properties of a cool hue. And that's all it does. You can't control it anymore. You look at Sandy Scoglin's photographs when she fills a room full of lime green cats that she's sculpted. And everything else in the photograph is gray. Well, guess what? That gray becomes a warm color. And that's the only thing that happens to the gray. It doesn't do anything else. And I've decided I wanted to do something besides just take upon itself a different warmth, a cast of warmth or something like that. I wanted to do something else. And I can fix these little edges where so I can use another chromatic neutral for that tabletop. I still got two grays, but not the same gray. By not being the same gray, I get more interaction, more things going on. And I can always play with this and see whether or not that works. So we got this greenish gray here next to these guys' flesh tones, and that should play a factor in the spatial organization. And I'll do the same thing over here, though I think there's a wash from another layer over here, so that'll have an effect. I can get rid of that layer if I want to. Probably will. Okay, down here too. Okay. Now let's figure out what that. So I'm going to do 20% cyan, 15% magenta, 10%. I don't like that. See what if it's nah. They have to be close to each other. Okay, bring this down to 40%. 40%. 40%. What if I made this 30%? No, it's still 50%. And make this 45%. Make this 48%. And what if I brought it up just a tiny bit? Let's play around with that. Okay. It's wrong. I can always fix it. Fortunately, this isn't like analog watercolor where you can't fix things. You have to do another watercolor. But if this doesn't work, then I'll use something else. And the cool thing about this is gray is always black. A value of a grayscale in which you add black is always going to mess with your color. And you're eventually going to have the problem that you're going to get some muddy color. And then when you get muddy color, ruins the whole dadgum page. Seen it a whole lot of times in the way people color comics. You get this nice drawing, and then you have all this murky color. And there are ways to fix that. It all has to do with color theory. Where you're looking for a gray, use a chromatic neutral. Sweetheart, are you strangling a cat in there? We don't have a cat. There's all types of cats outside. Fluffy being our favorite. But it seems like everybody in the whole neighborhood has an outdoor cat. I do not approve of outdoor animals that are outdoor all the time. You shorten their life dramatically. I think if you're going to have an animal, bring it inside, make it a member of the family, let them have all of the privileges that everybody else in the family has, which is how we treat our dog. It's his house, just as much as it's our house. So he gets to do anything he wants to. And I have the smartest dog you could ever imagine. When we got him we got him from a veterinarian who breeds corgis. She did not teach him how to use a wee pad. He came to us, housebroken, yes, but did not know what to do with a pee-wee pad. So we laid it down anyway. One day we got up and he started using the pee-wee pad. Now, after 3 months, you're not supposed to be able to teach any dog how to use a pee-wee pad. You're supposed to do it when they're puppies. This dog taught himself how to use a pee-wee pad. That's one smart dog. We get up in the middle of the night. If you get up in the morning and in the middle of the night, he's decided, I got to go. He doesn't come to you, which is my old collie. He would come to the side of the bed and whine, say, take me out, take me out, take me out. This one just goes and uses the Pee-wee pad. Corgis are smart dogs, really smart. The most affectionate dogs ever. I absolutely cannot stand it if you don't rub their belly on a regular basis. And every time I walk the dog, he sees somebody he knows. Can you come over here and rub my belly? And he knows everybody. Everybody knows my dog. As far as I can tell, everybody loves my dog too. Okay, that's starting to take upon some qualities that I prefer. I can mess with that tabletop and the fact that it's kind of flat right now. I can mess with that just by using a different value of chromatic neutrals on top of that. And I think this works a little bit better than what I had. And I may get some of the unnecessary lines out of there. Loo. Yeah, I'm going to have to play around with Blueboy's face because it's not constructed with color just yet. But I'll get it. Okay, now another chromatic gray for that guy's. Okay, now what are you gonna do? 35%, and 30%. Okay, and 0. Okay, let's see what we got here. It's still gray, but it's not it's gray with absolutely no black in it. So even though it's a completely neutralized color, it is still a color. And I suspect that original gray, I may have done something like this, though it doesn't look like I did. It's just there had to be probably what it was is that whatever it was, it had an inordinate amount of black in it, which always dulls down everything. And I know that's what I did here. So let's see what I do if I put more cyan in it. Let's say I put 60% cyan in here. Yeah. See? Now I can do that over there. And I still get a real vibrant blue, which is still knocked down by the two other complementary colors being in there significantly, but it's not, you know, bright blue. I think I have a layer over that leg over to the left. Probably do. That was yeah. Let's not do that. Okay. Maybe make some shorter strokes here. Okay, come down here. That's when I take this off. Yeah, I still have another level of blue over there that I'll have to deal with. If you just joined me, I'm making chromatic neutrals. Grays that are made from pure color, no black added. And so they still operate as color. Black and white are not colors. When they're mixed together, they may modify a pure color, but they are not colors themselves. So when you have only black and white and you mix a gray and you use it as a color, it's not going to interact with other colors. And if you ever read Joseph Alber's Interaction of Color, you'll notice that it's colors that interact with colors. Black and white only modify, they create shades and tints. They don't create new colors. Okay. So now we have to play around with that edge there. I don't, might as well just clean up my act as I go along. That edge there needs to be modified. I need to get rid of that little there that I didn't catch. Okay. Now I want to create some kind of a brown for Blueboys. So let's see how we do that. Yeah, get around there. Dead gimmit. Okay. How about 40%? 75% magenta, huh? How about 65% magenta? Okay. And then not 100% yellow, but 75% yellow. That'll give me, and then no black. That'll give me Blueboy Brown's pants down here, which are very similar to the color that I've been using all along for his knickers, his short pants, because he can't stop growing. So Ma's not going to make him any long pants until he does. So for an awful long time, you're going to see old Blueboy looking like the original Blueboy by Gainsborough, wearing short pants. And that's a brown using absolutely no black. Now, if you know anything about color, you know that brown is usually considered to be a shade of red, but a shade means you add black to it. There's another way to do it. Okay, now these two colors are not that far apart. That color and these colors are not that far apart. So I can mess with that, not worry about it too much. I can even those up, and then I can have some of my new trademark clouds. Come on, stop doing that, Wacom. You stop doing that, Wacom? Wacom. I feel like Lex Luthor yelling out, Mr. Smucker! Come on, stop it. Mr. Smucker! Is that it? Nope, sure wasn't. Oh. 2 hours, 13 minutes. We're getting to the point where I'm probably going to experience more technical difficulties than I would want to. How about we open up trackpad preferences? That scares you, doesn't it? That usually makes you behave. Open up Bluetooth trackpad. I'll probably just get the rolling beach ball now. But it's looking better. It's not looking as acidic, and the colors are not muddied. They're simple right now. I'll have to give them a little more complexity. Well, usually when I get the rolling beach ball, it usually means something good. It means that sooner or later, the old CPU is going to catch up with my actions. I get down on my hands and knees and beg my wife. She'll let me buy another computer. It usually works. Getting on your hands and knees with your wife always works. Humility. It's nothing you can do about it. She says he knows his place. He knows his place. Okay. Trackpad preferences. Take a flying leap. Well, that didn't work. Oh, well. So, let me see if I could, while I'm waiting around for, I can't do anything. No, everything's just blue. Okay. Oh, well. I wonder if there's any golf on this afternoon. They had golf last Sunday, I believe. Rory and Dustin beat Ricky and some other guy, which is to be expected. My theory, mine and mine alone, is that is that me coming back? Well, at least the Wacom tablet's back. Now I just get the beach ball to stop. your life is a whole lot easier as a golfer if you can boom it down the fairway accurately. Doesn't matter if you boom it, if you pull it or shank it, it's not going to work. But if you can, oh, I lost my Wacom again. If you can get it right down the fairway at 320 yards, 340 yards, woo! All you have to do is just do some simple iron shot, and you're on the green. That's what Spieth used to be able to do. He didn't do 340, but he'd do close to 300, and he was great, so good with his irons that he'd be on the wow, what was that? He'd be on the green before you knew it, and he's such a good putter. Didn't matter if he was 40 feet away; he had a really good chance of getting it. I'm waiting for those days to come back. I'm rooting for you, Jordan. I think his brother's playing professional basketball over in Europe, which is a good thing to do. If you're not going to make it in the NBA, and very few people do, it's that is just that is like do you know the way to San Jose, Bill? But there's always European basketball, which you can get into. And I know a guy who is now he does a lot of the um, conferencing and stuff. He's like a vice president at Ave Maria University. He played professional basketball over in Europe and had a great life. Guy's tall. He's like 6'10" or something like that. And superb human being. And he must have had a great career because he's got 10 kids. He's able to finance 10 children. So anyway, I think Spieth's brothers over in Europe. Sooner or later they'll have basketball there again. Come on, rolling rotary phone. I'm getting tired of this. I can't do this all day. Why don't I close you? Maybe I'll get back some of my memory. Close you, because it appears to be. What did I do? I didn't do anything. Yeah, I didn't do anything, so I'm not going to save you. Am I back? Okay, I'm back. See? All these are just little things that happen. Anyway, so where was I? Oh, I was doing this. I should. That wasn't what I wanted. Well, anyway, what's this? I'm in the layer line. Okay, so I can do this. Okay, did that. Okay, now we do this. Well, it's a long wait. Probably lost all my audience if I ever had one. Well, it's Saturday morning. What do you expect? Okay, cover this up. Somebody gave me a thumbs up. I wonder who it was. If you have a mind to, it would be real appreciated if you supported me on Patreon. It would enable me to bring this entire project to fruition. And you get all types of cool perks. And probably soon I'm going to add to my perks on Patreon. make it even cooler to be a patron of mine. As if it wasn't cool enough already. I bet this silly color has some black in it. Whatever happens, the black has a tendency to creep into the color anyway. See, there's 3. Bad boy. See, doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Oh well. Let's put it over here too. I must have a layer of something over there now. Now I've pretty much gotten rid of all my grays except for that. Well, let me see. How about we give this guy some brown boots? Is this a brown that has black in it? It sure does have a lot of black in it. Okay, bring it over here. Get rid of that. I'll get this, can't have it too. See, what if we made this 50? Okay, made this 40. Okay, 50, 49, 60. We have a, well, let's make this 55. Well, we made this 65. Okay, let's see. Does it? Let's see if it works. Because it's still a brown. And it's not the same brown I'm using anywhere else, so that's okay. Try to make sure when you're using any color that as you change the plane, if it's a different plane, it needs to have a slightly different color, or they'll look like they're both on the same plane, same place in space. And then and if they're not, then you flatten the whole thing, and it messes you up. Unless that's what you wanted, unless you're a modernist. You're Clement Greenberg's crowd. And that's not where I'm coming from. Now, this guy, he's got to have some hair. That's, I'm going to do something to him. I'm going to obliterate his hair. I'm going to give him white hair for a few seconds. And I'm going to put in another color, because that way only Blueboy has black hair. Look what I'm doing to this poor guy. I'll find out where that gray is, and I'll get rid of that too. Okay, where did I put that gray? Probably up here. No, not in the shadows. Ooh, I don't like those shadows. See, those shadows are where I'm getting my black, so I'm gonna. Huh. Well, that tone also muddies things up, so lots of changes coming from this. Okay. That might be all right. But you? Nope. Where did I get? Oh, maybe I just gonna add her color. If I do this over again, I'll get rid of. Nope. Somewhere along the way, I got some. I got some. Oh well, I'm not going to worry about it too much. So I'm going to give him some hair, some real hair, and first I'll draw in his hair a little bit, and it needs to be a smaller brush than that. I need to bring it up so I can see it. Okay. Now. Okay, define that guy's ear. That didn't work. Don't you dare. Oh. Back, good. Well, rid of that. Trying to carefully define this guy's ear. Okay. Okay. I'm on the color layer. That's dumb. Well, I just have to color it on a different layer. Okay, now that little thing right there needs to go right there. That needs to go. You weren't there. Where were you? There you are. Son of a gun. Well, okay. If I have to use an eraser, I'll use an eraser on you. Okay, that's what it did. Had to use an eraser. Okay, now we go up to color. We'll use layer 3 on you. Okay, let's give this guy some hair color. But it has to be sort of a mousy brown, so it doesn't compete with Blueboy. Now, no. Okay, put this at 45. This at 75. This at 25. No, that's not it. It's a neutral color, but it's not exactly what I was thinking. How about that? No, he could be a blondie. He could sort of be a blondie. Let's see if I gave him a 35%. Then I gave him a 35%. Then he'd just be a guy with gray hair. So I'm going to have to give him a little more 50% magenta. No, that's not a real color. Hair. 35%. Okay, cyan. 50%. Nope, he can't have that color hair either. Okay, 35%. So, well, let's just bring it over here. a little more. And make it 0, and then I'll give him this color, and I'll put a chromatic neutral over him to give him his highlights. And maybe I'll just bring this over and let that gray interact with some of this. Can't be too prejudiced against gray. It didn't do anything to me. Huh. Now, what if I added this? What if I put this on add another layer just for fun? Oh, that's not good. That's because I put it on as a normal color. I put it on as normal. It'll just cover everything up. Now I have to put it on multiply so it blends. I don't know if that's going to work. Glad I put it on another layer. People rarely have blue-green hair. Well, you can get it out of a bottle, but you can't get it anywhere else. Well, didn't I just... Oh, I wanted to do that. Wanted to delete that layer. Want to delete that layer. Yeah. So what do I do? Okay, maybe I take this and I play around with it a little more. 5% cyan. Okay. And then 60%. Okay, good. 55% there. Okay. Then go over it and see if I can okay. That may be closer to something that could be believable. Wouldn't cause you to say, who's that guy's hairstylist? We're going to have to do a class action lawsuit against this guy. Okay. Okay, that's starting to get there. Okay, that actually looks like something that might happen in reality. Okay, bring this grid like this. I can always play around with that if I want to. What does that look like? I'm going to give it to him. Yep, I'm going to give it to him. I don't have much time left. Yeah, in fact, this is where I'm going to stop. I have to go somewhere soon, which is real important. Okay. Did you go out on me again, Walkham? You see, that's why I gotta do that little. Okay, if Walkham's gonna play games with me, I'm gonna go home, take all my marbles for today at least, and say I'm out of here. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. This is page 56 copy. I'm going to save that. And I think it looks better than it did. Yeah, it does. It's no murky, muddy color in it. And I'll finish it up tomorrow. And I will in the interim, what I'll do is this top panel, I'm going to redraw that, make it simpler, nicer, and maybe I'll even replace this side of ham with a real log. I don't know if this guy's light brown hair. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I can darken it up a little bit. Anyway, all the chromatic neutrals have replaced the grays, and it's a much more open feeling, as if you can walk through the space. Your eye can travel through the space instead of being blocked off so you can't see a dang thing. And so I'm going to be, hey, things are coming along. So it's I'm 2 hours and 40 minutes into this thing, and so I've done enough damage today. So I will see you tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, and it'll probably be the last 10 o'clock I do on Sundays. I'll either do them earlier or later in the day, probably later in the day, but because it's Sunday, Sundays deserve their own agenda. Okay, here we go. So let me open up my. I have a new ending and opening screen that I need to show everybody. Since everybody's seen, stop it. What's going on? I'm getting wah. Huh. Strange. Okay, how about I do this? How about I open up? Will you let me do that? Huh? Okay, you'll let me do that. You let me. She's still being it. this is about the time to end. Getting the rolling beach ball again. At least I saved this thing. I haven't lost anything. Yeah, this is a much more open, kind of interesting looking composition. Yeah, it much more is in line with the kind of things I want to be doing. Well, you son of a gun. Okay, you back? Okay, you're back. Okay, you back? Okay, preview's back. Good. Are you back, preview? Open up or I get mad. Let me see if I got artboard 3.2. Yes, this is the one I wanted. This is one I'm going to show off. This is my new opening and closing screen. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. Now it's Blueboy Brown, The Adventures of a Family, and Leroy D. Hammer, up to no good. Okay, so tomorrow I will see you. This is David Greg Taylor signing off at the end of the broadcast day. You will. Yeah. Okay.